Good morning. Good morning to all the delegates and our chief guest, our main speaker, our motivator, inspirer, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar ji, who has really worked all these years for our nation. We are having a patriot leader amongst us. With a warm welcome to him, I ask Mr. Raghavendra to commence with a prayer. I will explain a little bit about Dr. TPS. Maybe I think afterwards he will take over. Please, Mr. Raghavendra. First of all, as a host, I thank you for organizing the meeting. Yeah, you can start with the prayer.
Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakari Hari Om. Welcome all members. I request Lalita ma'am to invoke session so that speakers will follow.
I welcome all the participants who have attended, who have taken their time to attend the meeting with a very short notice. It is really, we feel it a privilege. I think it's better if everybody can mute their settings because let the voice not be disrupted. Mr. Raghavendra, could you just mute everyone? Could you just mute everyone? Yeah. Mr. Raghavendra, I hope everybody has muted themselves. Okay. Good morning again, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar Garu, Shubhodai, to all the participants who have taken their time to attend this valuable session on Grandma Gurukul Shiksha Center, the details of which our main speaker will explain in the coming 5 minutes. Now, to tell about Dr. TPS, he has really, his background is from basically a Keralite, but he has traveled across the country and across the world for promotion of education, for promotion of value-based education and Sanskrit, Ayurveda, what not to say about our ancient management systems also. He's really a very, very kind-hearted philosopher and also a scholarly person who has devoted his life for the cause of developing the youth, the children, and the coming generations to make the nation grow according to the existing, just remove the existing patterns and evolve our ancient Indian systems and also promote them by removing the deep-rooted problems and also working on solutions for all those problems in the education system. With the upcoming national education policy, they all are the scholars who are working to bring changes in the systems. So I think Dr. TPS profile will be sent to you all. You can have a look at his various YouTube channels, what all he has done, because that can be a separate meeting as it is, if we want to tell about Dr. TPS. So I don't want to really take too much of this valuable time, because after his speech, maybe we will all have a one-to-one interaction with him. Now I invite Dr. TPS to just take over the session and deliver his much awaited lecture. Yeah, you can record also, Raghavendra. Sir, please carry on, sir.
Namaskaram.
This meeting is being recorded.
Namaskaram, Lalita and Rama, Hari, Raghavendra, and the group of people who are part of making this meet happen. It's almost a year that I started propagating the idea of Grandma Gurukul. The idea is not new. We started a center in Kerala. There was a great initiative in the northern part of Kerala to start a international school, in which I was given charge of making it happen. So I was starting from the plan of building to academics, recruiting teachers, identifying the leaders who will run the school. Everything was part of my activity almost 10 years back. Then what I thought was, young children should not travel, as today what is happening from LKG, UKG or grade 1, grade 2, they travel long distance to attend the schools, including my own children. I remember used to pack them in the auto rickshaw, where maybe 8th class, 9th class children also will be there, and the LKG, UKG children also will be there. Most of the parents don't have time to look after their children, so they're forced to send them to schools as early as possible. Probably that is how grade 1 has reduced to UKG, and some places there is a middle KG also. In Delhi and all, there is a LKG, middle KG and UKG, and nursery, the pre-schooling. So in fact it starts from 2.5 years. Probably that is the harshest thing anybody can do, including me. Both myself and wife is working. We had no other go. Then I thought this is the right time when parents are at home. Because of the pandemic, parents are forced to be at home, schools are not running. I thought this is the right time when a revisit can be made in this context. Second part, any child development, the first 2 years, they are at home. Only the focus of the whole family, relatives, visitors, everybody will be only on the young child. They will keep discussing about the child, focusing them. Traditionally, when the child becomes age 2 or maybe even before that, the second child comes, the attention will go from the age 1.5 to the next child, so that this child is little away from the parents or the attention focus. But traditionally we had a combined family setup in which there will be a lot of cousin sisters, other elderly relatives, grandmother from both sides sometime. Therefore what will happen, they are handled or maybe taken care of, maybe brought up. We can use different words. That means there is a society around the child, and the child learns about the emotional, psychological dealings with the society. Probably when that was not happening, that is where children were shifted to the so-called nursery, LKG, UKG setup, in which they get involved with the society through the teachers, classmates. It had its own disadvantage because most of the time they didn't get the involvement with their elderly people, but they had more interaction with the peer groups, and that is where they start learning the fighting, grabbing things, because up to age 2 they were getting. From age 2 to 5 is where they learn how to fight and get what they want from their peer groups, classmates and all that. Best setup.
Why is there so much of disturbance, Raghvendra?
It is fine, madam.
The best setup in younger education is, as per international standard, it is 1:8 or 1:10. That means for 10 children, one teacher has to be there. But hardly we see in the nursery, LKG, UKG, where the 1:10 ratio is maintained. What they do is to satisfy the rules or government or the CBSE, the management setup, the controlling authority. What do they do is they have 30 children and then keep 3 people there, 2 ayah and 1 teacher. Actually, that is not what is to be done. The teaching faculty has to be 1:10. But that doesn't happen. So I have seen most of the time our education system has got a system, but when it gets implemented, we know how to manipulate it, or the management knows how to manipulate it. Therefore, what happens is most of the time the children gets associated with not the educated, cultured group of people. They get less opportunity to develop themselves. So the traditionally we had grandparents who were taking care of them, or knowledgeable at least in their tradition, their culture, their system of life. But today, in terms of modernization, we have a group of people where they are only controlled by, it is not even educated, no savidya, no avidya, it is only controlling. So most of the time it is like discipline. We don't know the word discipline itself, how it is really followed, or what is discipline is what the senior people who control them decides. So this is what was happening. New education policy, I am 100% sure they have taken not an Indian model, traditional model. We have a lot of international models working, and there were a lot of debates and discussions and dialogues. Ultimately, under a great committee, the new education policy came, where we wanted to have a formal education system, because nursery, LKG, UKG were not formal. Grade 1 onwards it was formal. The rest of the things were run without any proper guidance or license or qualified people appointed. Anybody could run such pre-schools. They are called pre-schools. But that is where actually the emotional, psychological development of a child happens. And it is left with the hands of unqualified people most of the time. Therefore, government decided this has to be brought under the formal education, but without any textbook, without any writing, without any learning. It has to go totally informally. Under a formal setup, an informal education. But I had my own doubts. I have given many lectures on NEP at different levels and different countries, because Indian education is supported even in Gulf countries. So I had a lot of opportunity to talk on this subject. Some of them are there on the YouTube also. At the highest level, in the university setup, autonomous colleges also I gave lecture. I was telling it is not the system. What Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan planned, or maybe what was just after independence, what India education system, you compare that with the new education policy, nothing new. But what is happening is, when it comes to implementation, there is a lot of lacuna. And unfortunately, the education setup will not implement this. It is not going to happen. And also the time of proposal being submitted to government is the time when COVID came. Therefore, there are a lot of problems. The implementation will not happen, because the schools itself are not opened. That is where I thought probably the old system, 10 years old system, which I wanted to have, or which I experimented in one schools in small setup in Kerala, where I thought probably we can have. Again, the too much of restrictions on COVID could not take it forward. The idea was a total informal setup where few parents who have got children, or maybe we have nuclear families who are all restricted themselves at home. Maybe 3-4 families or 5 families or 10 families can gather together, not more than that. And their parents can share their experience with the younger children, not necessarily only between the age 3 to grade 3, the pre-primary and pre-education nursery system. Share it, and what can be taught can be explained or maybe directed, maybe evolved with the experience at different small centers, which can be called as Grandma Child Care Center, because child is from age 3 to grade 3. But unfortunately, most of the educated parents, so-called educated parents, they know that their education system was not very good. They were not getting either Savidya or Avidya. What is exactly required to get a job is not being provided. They themselves doesn't agree, or they feel that what they got is not sufficient, good enough. But still, since there is a system, parents don't want to change the large group of people in the queue to a smaller experimental stage probably. But there are a lot of such experimental stage, either poorest of the poor or richest of the rich. But the middle class people are always not ready to take risk, because they had their own reservations on setting up a family and running in the same route. Probably experiments are done at free education being provided as a residential program, in which no writing, no reading, but only trade were being taught. Nearly 100 trades were listed. I was looking at nearly 6-7 years back when I went to Madhya Pradesh. I visited such schools where there was only the Vedic learning part of daily routine was being taught, and that was the focus. But they were all free education system where parents had no control or no real goal for what is to be done. I'm sure that is easy to start. If there are fundings available, India can afford and create such hundreds of systems. But I'm sure the middle class family don't want to leave their children to the hands of somebody else. They want to keep their children always with them. So that is where I thought maybe these middle class people can be educated little more, so that they can have their own entrepreneurship activity where they can start small schools in an informal setup, like a club. They can meet in the park. They can start small maybe farming on the rooftop, or maybe in the balcony. Give these young children a taste of farming or cultivation. Therefore, what I did was, parallel to this Grandma Child Care Center, I did a lot of webinars and discussions with the farm. And there was a great support given by the Pragati Resort to start such activity. So the program was inaugurated in Pragati Resort, where we planned that maybe parents, when they start small setup, we can pull them together to give maybe once in a month or once in 3 months. Around Hyderabad, we can have such a center where we can train them. But then that is where the activity did not take off. We had at least 4 or 5 different cluster meetings, cluster discussions. I was hopeful that something will happen with a lot of initiative from Lalita Krishna and some few people from Tirupati. Many discussions happened under Prabhagarji's the thought group, where they had a lot of brainstorming around them. I am 100% sure there are a lot of commercial setup where teachers training program is happening in Pune, where they do that. But mine was totally a social service activity in which how we can create young volunteers who will become torchbearers. They realized that their education system did not give them what they really wanted. So can we have such an intervention where youth can be empowered with taking this message of new education policy, NEP, and getting it implemented in different centers, because the traditional age old teaching faculties under the present management system, they are not going to implement this at all. That is where India failed in most of the time, because too much of democracy, too much of social awareness is being used for opposing what new things comes in society than picking up what can be done. They always think that how can we stop anything new. That is where I thought we need to intervene with the help of youth. So this is what the proposal which I made through grandma child care activity with what I called this as Destination IAS. Destination IAS. IAS is immediate academic success. Both Savidya and Avidya, value system as well as what can be given for getting them a profession by themselves. It is not getting a job. Getting a job probably is a lesser important activity than creating entrepreneurs, making them people who can create ideas, who can think deep inside something and then create themselves. Unfortunately, we have got lot of Make in India program, entrepreneurship programs. Government Department of Science and Technology announces that incubation centers can be there. Immediately, most of the engineering colleges will start an incubation center because fund is given by DST. 2-3 crores building will come half built, unfinished, and they will start again some academic program where no research happens. Teachers themselves have never done a pure independent contribution in their own activity. Probably that is where we wanted to somehow grab money, create infrastructure than doing something really. This is what the real dirty fate of India is. And people who are doing are also not happy. People who are receiving are also not happy. The teachers are not happy. The students are also not happy. Education system is so poor. I was also associated as a teaching faculty in few of the so-called best universities set up in private institutions and all that. If you look at the students' pattern there, the students' absorption of subject there, it is so pathetic. Maybe a BTech student doesn't have the knowledge of a 6th class mathematics. No, I am not exaggerating. Only 4% of engineering students in India can be called as real engineering students where they understand what the teachers are speaking. And who are these teachers? The teachers are mostly those people who did not get any other job after BTech. They go for MTech. Because they don't get any other job after MTech, they become teachers, and the salary paid to some of the engineering college teachers are less than 10,000 rupees per month. And sometimes they don't even get salary for 6 months. They pay only after some time. I was also part of being an executive director of an engineering college. We know what is happening. Only few important figures in the education setup, they get money. They are paid well off. But the rest of the people are like, they want some experience, they want some certificate. I don't know how the education system can part good education. If the education is not given good, 30% of India is full of youth. What are we doing? We are really fooling around the whole people. And that is why we are celebrating now. Yesterday I was inaugurating a yoga session for 1 month program. Because June happens to be the yoga day. We are very good in celebrating things. We don't even know when this yoga system started, what is the history of that. We only wanted to learn it. We want to get a certificate so that I can become teacher tomorrow. 6 months training program in yoga, you can be a 6 certificates from different institutions and then say I am an expert in yoga. What is this expert? You did not even become a part in yoga. How can you become an expert in yoga? Because education system has become so bad, certification is the quality. Are you from IIT? Then you are a great engineer. Did you have a certificate from few organizations? You have a abroad certification? Then wonderful. I think the knowledge is not being transferred to the next generation. Probably, therefore, they themselves are also unhappy. The learners are also so unhappy. So we are only transferring frustration to generations coming. That is why, if you look at India, our happiness index, wellness index, the life potential cleanliness, environment system in India itself is, can you see all these ranks are below 100. We are much worse than some of the neighboring countries where we literally look at them as the poor country, useless country, uneducated, unethical and all that we call. But as per international standard, Indian system in the ranking, it is so pathetic. I don't know who will change this. So it has to come from small pockets. And this needs a greater focus. That is where I thought I should talk to some of the youth. That's why when Lalita ji asked me to speak to some people, I only take invitations and then do things. When something happens, I get involved. If it doesn't happen, then I get out of it. That's what I do. So I'm 100% sure. Probably some youth who are more active. I am so unfortunate. In my youth time, I did not had such guiding factors or directions in which I could have involved in such things. Those days I have spent my full time in office focusing on government activities. But that has given a lot of experience which can be shared across for the next generations to pick up if there are few people. I am 100% sure money is not a big issue. Because if there is a setup which is created, people are there to fund. Because if you look at how much money is being flown to the so-called foolish, stupid, I can qualify all that bad names who are getting lot of money for their own activity where they build a big marketing setup in which they are blown up like a big Rishi, Swamiji, Guru, Sat and all that, And their words, if you look at it, there is nothing. It's only hollowness. So I'm 100% sure if there is a sufficient backup given to some where there is an essence which can be communicated, there is an essence which can be transformed not as a system, not as a blah blah, not as lectures, not as education, but where activities can be initiated, where action is what is to be shown to prove that yes, we are making change. Not in thoughts, not in the feeling, but in karma. I am sure when karma comes, karma is being supported by a devotion. Otherwise, any devotion, any feeling is useless if there is no action. So that is why Bhagavad Gita has got first karma, action, then devotion. If action and devotion is there, then knowledge can be supported. I found most of the time a knowledge is being given to people who doesn't even have a heart to listen to that. The devotion is not there. That is why I do a lot of such experiments. I start teaching Bhagavad Gita for a few days and stop it. Look at whether somebody wanted to really learn and come back to me. No, if you arrange, I will attend. But I have no questions. I start teaching sloka, people will attend. I am 100% sure if I put a sloka session now, send it to 1000 people, 100, 200 people will join. But are they really interested? How do I check? I will teach for 1 week and stop. Yeah, then stop. No message, no discussions, no questions, no doubts also. That means what? You don't have devotion. Why you don't have devotion? Because what you learned, you are not even parting with somebody else. If you are parting, that becomes action. In education, that becomes an action. When you part with somebody else, I remember whatever I learned from my guru. When I wanted to tell somebody else, I get a doubt. Because I am reiterating in myself. So I got a doubt. What I will do, I will go back to my guru and say, ask whether this sloka is to be chanted like this. I heard from somewhere, this is not how it is somewhere else. So is it correct? So that question will come. So I will go back to them. So this is what I wish to do individually. So I told what system require, probably what people require, where is the resistance that is happening, what is my attempt. Because it is very, very difficult individually to change a system which is running. Probably we have defocused looking at making things happen which probably doesn't make a large difference in the generations to come. Because we were only looking at what immediate success we can get. That is how engineering colleges started, like MBA started and many people got MBA degree. Our education system is now, when biotechnology comes, everybody starts biotechnology. Microbiology comes, everybody starts microbiology. Nanotechnology comes, everybody wants nanotechnology. Now MBA with airport management. You know, every day approximately 10 messages comes to me. Is it airport management good? I said, where are airports now where we need people like this? Because some university starts, every university starts that. Therefore, the youth is being engaged in getting some certification, sitting inside a class from somebody who got a certificate which they themselves found it is not useful. So we are transferring that process. From there, probably I want because I want to make it. I want because I want to do it. That is where the new education policy insisted on the real discontinuation when they want. Take the credit and keep it. Make it more practical. Make it more vocational. We need a really good cook. We need really good people who will serve the country in various fields. We don't have such a system at all. We have a labor problem, but we also have unemployment problem. Wherever we want people to do a job, we don't get. We don't get even a skilled person to do a job which I wanted to do. All are duplicates. They themselves are not professional for their job. And we talk about unemployment problem. That is because we have not created the skilled people. We don't have even sufficient nurses, sufficient doctors, sufficient medical professional, sufficient biotech people. That's why we have got a lot of problems in seeing things happen when really they wanted to do some activities. These are the things probably for a long term we wanted to look at it. Government can do policy making, but implementation government cannot do. That is why education we have contracted out to private parties. Otherwise every education system would have been government. Government doesn't have the means and ways to implement what schemes they start. Therefore private participation is very, very essential. But when it comes to private participation, the dilution is too much, self-interest is too much, selfish interest is too much, business mentality is too much, where it got diluted. That is where the service people can be used. Their ability to implement what is the government wanted us to do. That is where we thought this is the right time to intervene. At least create such youth who are wasting time, who are not utilizing for the better future of this country. This is what I wanted to tell. I think I have taken sufficient time. Half an hour I spoke. That's good enough. If there are few questions, as I said, there are no questions, probably there is no.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. TPS. No, this was really a very, very, it was all like it ignited each one of us with your, because it's all out of experience. Whatever you spoke was with your practical experience. You have seen, you have worked with Dr. Abdul Kalam ji, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji. You have worked with all the top stalwarts in the country, and you have been in almost, you have worked with RAW also. That is the highest security, national security system you have been part of. You have been with ISRO where you have been a scientist. You have been part of JNTU. You have been faculty, management faculty in various institutions, colleges, whatnot. You have seen the entire world in the varied perspectives. So with your deep knowledge, you were able to really enlighten and ignite our minds also with the positive thoughts. What the coming generation has to take forward for the future generations, like our younger generation. So I think we are very, very thankful to whatever you have shared with us till now. I keep the session open and I ask each and every participant. It so happens that all are high-end professionals and who also have their own experience. I think he is the right person. From my experience, he is the right person with whom you can also raise many of your queries or doubts or clarifications, whatever it is. And this will be an open session from now onwards. Yeah, please make use of it. Make use of his knowledge. I ask the entire group to really talk. It's an interactive session, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Shashi sir. So it is glad that we have you in our like-minded thought process. So sir, I just having one thought process. So just guide me if that is going to be in right direction or not. So we want to start with 10 to 50 people who will contribute 1,000 to 2,000 rupees per month. So where we want to establish an education system which you are which you want to be in place in a practical mode, not just like worldly mode. So that eventually we will grow to 500 people. These 500 people across all walks of life, they contribute and practically involve in all the activities that you are that is there in your mind, that is already you implemented in some of the places. So my intention is, so we should form a 500 people group in every district level, and those people should follow the guidelines as per the Shashi Kumar sir, so that so we should be part of solution rather part of a problem. We should not complain that school is not good, this certificate is not good, that university is not good. Rather we should come up and start initially with 5 people. That 5 people eventually will grow into 500 people. So in span of maximum 3 to 4 years, we can establish one beautiful concept called Grandma Gurukul. Maybe each ward or level or each mandal level, if not at least at district level, we can showcase that this system which explains a lot of values to the human being, lot of life learning skills, life skills, whatnot. So I just put some words here. So I request sir, Shashi Kumar sir. So in these activities, so shall we go ahead with this type of like-minded people to start with, so that the foundation is started. So let it take some time, maybe 1 or 2 years or maximum 4 years. At least district level, one person says yes, we are proud to follow that our ancient system of education, or our true way of learning education, a true way of unfolding ourselves, or learn and unlearn whatnot.
Yeah, Raghavendra, thank you for that comments and initiative.
Yes, sir.
I think it require no money at all because today we all run digitally.
True, sir. True.
Informations are plenty available,
Right, sir.
and I don't think teachers or really there are no requirement of teachers to teach because everything is digitally available. I don't think any teacher can teach much better than what is digitally available, which is free today. But only thing we need somebody who will direct them what to look for and what they have to be fed with at that point of time, age wise, right?
Right.
I remember I have got my brothers who are grandparents today. So what I did today was I have sent one small app which is available. So this is an app in which you have got lot of birds. You just touch the bird, immediately the bird will start crying. And the description about the bird is also given as a text there.
Okay.
Understood? Is there a better way to teach? Because I am not able to show all the birds. See, it's a simple app. I don't think there are hundreds of such small apps. What do I do is I send these to my brothers, my cousins, so that they use to teach their grandchildren.
Okay.
So what is happening? Their grandchildren learn that. I have got grandchildren who are probably studying at 5th grade, 6th grade. So every Tuesday I have got a science program which is in Malayalam. So what do I do is I send them, ask them to listen. So last week it was on anaconda. So they learn about that great snake. There are some mention about some documentaries. They will see that documentary, so the knowledge becomes better. So at a different level, for LKG, UKG, this bird is good enough. Maybe when they reach up to 5th, 6th class, we know what they have to look at.
Yeah.
And I am 100% sure when they come to maybe 8th class or 10th class, I have got a set of best physics teachers in the world whose videos they have to look at. Probably they have to listen to such lectures. So what I do is, I will direct them to such internationally famous lectures where the university education system has opened up them to them. When they are in 10th class, they are listening to the university professors. I am 100% sure with the great multimedia
Yes.
and the ability of the younger children today, they are much better. The youth is much better than this. I keep calling myself as a man of BC because before computers. And all the new generation is AD because they are all after digital. Therefore their absorption level has become much better.
True, sir.
But they need to be directed. It is more direction which is required.
Yes.
But to get directed, that is what I said, I can give that direction, maybe that can be given. But that passion should come to them. And there needs to be a group of people who will keep discussing it. Probably I learned a little bit because I had gone to some people where such discussions was part of our daily life.
Right.
So can we have such small groups, at least small groups where now today we are discussing, so I am so passionate today, right?
Yep.
So because we are discussing something today, right?
Right.
I don't know how many such youth can be made together to have a passion to learn, not join just because somebody is asking you to join that. No.
Yeah.
If it is not happening a week, they must feel that I must also have it. That do they have that urge for learning, zeal for learning, quest for learning, than creating a mechanical life. So I was only finding fault with the education system to erase the interest, to show that you must think beyond that
Yeah. True, sir.
Understood?
Mm.
So if you can have such groups, I'm 100% sure. Yes, I had such brilliant group around me. When I was in Hyderabad, I used to get a lot of children when they had holidays, vacation. That is how I could run lot of holiday programs, no? And they keep asking, is there such a program available? But they have gone apart, sent apart. They could not contribute to the society because most of them were more brilliant people. They did not stay even in India, most of them. Understood? So we need people who are in villages, who have got some touch, where they can create small society and then make them active. I'm 100% with them. I'm 100% with all of you.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Even we want to go as remote as possible. There we want to establish your way of teachings. At least, sir, even at least some small schools where they do normal teaching, where they will allow us. See, imagine if you define one teaching methodology for a class up to class 5th standard. Okay, you want to teach some mathematics in different way and science in different way. Maybe recorded sessions, or a lot of friends might have digital content. So that we can arrange. We can go and arrange them. So I will try my level best to reach maximum schools who are into this type of acceptance. So basically they should accept it. Like you said, they should be quest to learn, or urge to learn these valuable things which are not present in everywhere today. It is very, very unfortunate. So at least we must try to propagate propaganda in schools wherever possible. If 100 schools you visited, 90% them rejected, that is fine. But 10 people they accepted it, at least it will reach to some people. So as Vivekananda said, we will try till our level best. We will try to reach maximum people. If they don't accept, that is fine. So I feel only few percentage are very, very lucky to have you to get the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or ancient learnings or whatnot. So it is that's I feel it's privilege. It is like it's very, very fortunate to have this education. Those who do not, they are unfortunate. So we don't have to feel bad about that one. So let's reach the people who are looking for the teachings of you. So we want to act as a bridge between people who want your teachings. So
I remember Raghavendra, when I went to JNTU Pulivandala.
Yeah.
Directly opposite to that main gate, there is a government school.
Oh, okay.
There were only 4 students and 8 faculty members.
See, sir.
Government was paying for nothing.
Nothing.
And what I did was, whatever remuneration I got, because as per government there is 4 days of training program for the recruitment training program. That's what I did for 3 days, residential program sort of a thing. Morning 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock evening. Continuously I was teaching for 3 days. Whatever I got, the whole money I gave to the volunteers there, and then created a small group and asked them to rejuvenate that government school. After 3 years, I found that the school had more than 200 children.
Okay. See, sir.
So I am sure there are a lot of government schools which are unattended.
Yeah, true, sir. Really, sir.
I remember when I was charge of NSS, National Service Scheme in Bongir, one of the engineering colleges. I went to 3 or 4 different villages, small schools, where we cleaned, including the toilets, and everything is constructed, maintained very bad.
Very bad, true, sir.
So most of my NSS programs were associated with academic institutions in the neighboring places, where we cleaned up not only the infrastructure but the mind of those people and the teachers. But I am 100% sure if there is no constant intervention, it will go back to the same hands, because you know who are the people who are involved there. That is where we need a youth who will hand over these items to the next generation, which I couldn't implement very well because I was not residing there. I am 100% sure we need a constant supervision for them, constant motivation for them.
True, sir. True, sir.
We can provide it.
We will work under your guidance, sir. So we will try to reach maximum people, and we will go through systematic way of approaching people, not just like go and just tell that we are innovative teaching, we want to teach Bhagavad Gita and all. There is a systematic approach, and what to teach and how to teach, and to explain to the point of contact, maybe in a school or maybe in a place. We will try to reach maximum.
Raghavendra, I think we will have another Zoom meet where Dr. TPS will explain even more detail how to exactly take it to the ground level. Okay, this is just to give an outline. Yeah. Now we will ask the other participants also to express or share what they like to know or what is their whatever is their things. We'll ask the other people also to really. Yeah, please. I'll ask the other participants also to interact with Dr. TPS.
Hi sir, this is Prithvi.
Yeah,
I'm from Bangalore. I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm really glad that you are here, and thank you for your all enlightening words. And
where are you originally from, Prithvi?
Sorry sir?
Where are you originally?
I'm basically from Andhra sir.
Okay.
But right now I'm in Bangalore. So we have started a company recently, me with Mr. Rama. So we are working together. So basically I've been going through all your words and all. What we are doing is we are planning to reach out to people from rural areas. Where the education system is like not to the mark as you mentioned. So what we are planning to do is using this digital platforms and all. We are planning to give them some few free courses, because there are like a number of courses that are available for free. So why not make use of them? So we are actually trying to make use of them, reach out to these people, students from rural areas, and not only for the sake of certification or to gain something. So to be like selfless and towards this social cause, and they can actually give something to the world. So what we are doing is we're actually planning to give some courses, and maybe later they can actually work on this, be practical about it, get trained, get skilled on this, and work more towards this. So that's what we are actually reaching out. So I actually reached out to people from Lepakshi, Anantapur, and Vellore, Chittor. So these are like few places where I'm actually reaching out to some schools where the education system is not very much, where the rural people, they're not exposed to the opportunities and all. So maybe we can reach out to them, train them with the skills, and later make use of them, and basically give them some employment ideas. So that's what we are actually focusing towards right now.
Yeah, Prithvi, even when we introduce them to some coursework, maybe some education certification,
The recording has
what
stopped.
I love to do that is let them take their syllabus, look at their objective and scope, and have a discussion to concretize their learning, because one of the main factor which I focus is learn how to learn.
Okay.
So take any syllabus, irrespective of the subject. I do this. There are good children who comes from medical system, management system, engineering system, where I ask few questions to understand, to find out what is that objective and scope with which they are looking at the course. If you are not very clear about the objective and scope, anything which you learn will have no result.
True.
So keep asking a lot of questions to understand what they are learning. I may not understand the subject, but I understand it as an activity project which they themselves will redefine. They understand, oh, this is why I am learning it. This is what I am going to do with this knowledge. So such task-oriented, focused learning can be provided, and all this can be at any point of time. If the time is understood between both of us, we can have a one-to-one to children who are interested to learn also. I will be at your service.
Sure, sir, thanks. And how about sir, would this work like initially, instead of me forcing them to go take these courses and do these courses, we can actually give them like multiple, like a list of courses and ask them to choose the courses based on their passion.
Yeah.
Like if they are actually interested in it, they will show actually more interest in learning them, rather than me telling do this, do that.
Yeah.
Right? So
Generally-
maybe once they learn this course, we can actually help them get the employment or do the service based on that course that they are interested in, and then that will actually give more result. Isn't it?
Yeah, generally, maybe more than million children would have come to me for identifying what they have to learn for graduation. What they have to learn after 10th, whether to choose for science or humanities or commerce, or what I do is I will ask them to look at the syllabus, look at online programs, open schooling programs, open university programs, and identify what is that they have to learn, whether they are matching with their interest and the content. So this is one of the essential part of identifying what they want to learn.
Exactly. Yes.
100% it's must. Like we could help them, but we could help them to understand what is that they want to do in their life. Therefore, they want to learn this. Wonderful. That can be done.
Yeah, sure, sir. I mean, I'll get back to you on this then.
Yeah.
We're still working on it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sashikumar,
Yeah.
good morning.
Namaskaram. Raja Reddy.
Yeah. I am Rajaji. In fact, they call me so.
Yeah.
I live in Puttaparthi.
Okay.
Vittohada.
Huh.
Yeah. We just listened to you just now. Of course, most of your crisp remarks are very much true. Like only a fraction of, especially the engineering students who are passing out in lakhs or rather millions in this country. I think not even 5 to 10% are employable, as widely accepted. And there are many such flaws in the present situation. Can you please name the fundamental basic flaw in our system? There must be some basic major flaw, no? Otherwise I don't think, 5% of the products, if they are bad, let us take even some production scenario, where you have 95% of the products are defective. There must be something seriously wrong with the manufacturing or the raw material or the process or whatever. Can you please throw some light on the fundamental flaw? Because we know most of the deficiencies what the present educational system has. All of us are aware of it. But there is something, unique to this country.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think this kind of dubious ratio you can see anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
barring a few sub-Saharan countries probably. Yeah, please.
Rajaji, what you said is perfectly all right. I reserved some of my comments because few of my teacher friends are also here. They heard me many times. One of the thing what I keep saying is education is only one business in which the producer doesn't own the responsibility of the product being bad. If I make a mango pickle, I will not tell the mango was bad, therefore the pickle became bad. Then somebody will ask, why did you put the bad mango inside? You could have only put the best mangoes inside. Education, I cannot throw the students out saying that they are not good for nothing. I have to somehow make them to be part of the production also. And therefore what I will do, I cannot leave them. See, when I was a student, I remember in my class, in 6th class, at least out of 30 children, 10 of them failed. Only 20 passed to the next class. But in the next class also we had 30 people because half of them failed there also. I remember 5-year elder, my brother, who is 5 years or 6 years elder, 10 years elder than me. 10 or 8 years elder than me. When somebody came as a visitor to my house, who was my classmate, when I introduced my brother, immediately he said my brother is also his classmate during school days, who was 8 years elder than me. So that means 8 years he failed continuously. Understood?
Quite a progress.
Yeah. But today's education system, therefore those days education was something very crucial. Teachers can make them fail. Teachers were very selective in selecting the product to pass to the next class. Today, everybody is passed. Even in engineering colleges, if the university is not giving them pass, that university is a bad university. Nobody will join that university next year. So what do? They also push them out. And where do they go? The only 4%, 5% they get employed, you said. In the core syllabus, core engineering subject, they don't get job. They always get into some software IT job, and they are all put into Mysore, probably in Infosys training campus. If you look at the syllabus, what Infosys is being used for teaching them is basic English, basic mathematics, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, and all that, which they train for 6 months, which is exactly 6th class syllabus, 7th class syllabus. Why are they doing? Because they just passed.
Excuse me, Sashi, 1 minute. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with Satya Sai Baba's sayings on education. I'm not even sure whether you have seen this place. By any chance?
Yeah, I was there.
This place?
I was there.
Okay, good. See, here actually, because I am associated with the trust also, so I am familiar with the kind of things going on here. Especially regarding the education, we have some kind of unique style here, based on one saying of Satya Sai Baba, who said, education is not merely to eke out living, but for life. Okay, because based on that, actually everything is designed here, the curriculum, syllabus, pedagogy, or whatever you call it. But accordingly, everything is designed here. Don't you think, every educational institution should have this much of basic understanding of education? Is it meant merely to eke out living? No, what else, is the present education offering? Please tell me.
Yeah, that is what
they have.
That
value-based education. So many things they keep teaching, but they're all, secondary. The main focus is on to eke out a living. It is just for your. Think of even IITs, IIMs and all. What do you see? The moment you enter into IIM or IIT, you see only the gold medalist names, and then beside that the pay package, how much they got. That is the kind of situation we are in. Okay. So where is the fundamental flaw? I'm still yet to hear from you.
Yeah, that is where
fundamental flaw.
That is where I said the objective and scope. When I am teaching 30 children in my grade 1, my objective is teaching different subjects in which they learn how to learn. When they get into 2nd class, 3rd class, 4th class, my intention is to know how many of them are going to reach into the highest education, where one of them will become a mathematician tomorrow. I don't know who is going to become a mathematician among these 100 children who are there in the 10th class in my school. Because I don't know who are all there going to be mathematicians, biology people, they are going to learn physics in their life, they will contribute in the invention of science, somebody will become engineer, somebody will become a accountant, I am not sure. So that is why I serve them every subject with an intention that each one of them will focus, pick up one of the subjects, and they will become good in that subject. But I don't know whether these teachers have got this mentality in them. They think that their objective is to finish the syllabus. The objective is not that. The objective and scope is written in the textbook. They don't even read that. It is for making them capable of absorbing, understanding. We are only learning and teaching. We are not making children to understand. When they understand, the consequence of learning will become entirely different from learning. Examination is only testing whether they are learning or learned or not. Whether they understood is entirely different. The other day I was talking to mathematics department in one of the colleges. One student was presenting applications of mathematics as a normal presentation by children, the students who are participants. Immediately I asked a question, what is 32 multiplied to 28? They wanted calculator, they wanted pen and paper. I said, no. You have also learned a minus b into a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. They have never used that. When they learn mathematics formula, the objective and scope is not understood. So what do? They learn the formula. Why am I learning it is not being explained by teachers. That is the lacuna of education. Every student must be able to ask question, why am I learning? Why is it required? What you said is correct. How is it going to support my life? How does it matter to me? Why should I learn geography? Why should I learn history? Why should I learn about poetry of Wordsworth? Why should I learn Kalidasa's poetry? If I learn, what do I get? The objective and scope is being clear. If I can ask questions to the teacher, why are you teaching this? I have an objective and scope when I am discussing now today. If I am not aware of the objective and scope, whatever I speak will be what I learned from somewhere without a clear vision. So vision is to be very clear. What is that activity which is happening? Okay, somebody is doing in this style in some system. Can I take that mission and implement as my mission? Sharing of mission. That doesn't happen. This is what is exactly required. I keep asking CBSE school. I keep asking the CBSE teachers, what is CBSE? Central Board of Secondary Education. Secondary education doesn't start with the KG, LKG, UKG, grade 1, grade 2. So why teachers are putting secondary education CBSE approved? There is no approval for CBSE for lower class other than 9th class onwards. So education system has become a fooling system where people started displaying something and making the parents are happy when they get a certificate. They are not even aware of the objective and scope. That is where it is missing.
No, I understand. Like, again, going back to my original question, fundamental flaw. These are all the symptoms of the system, because we have been able to produce the products of this kind, the typical mindset. Okay, unfortunately, we acquire it. But again, looking at the possible fundamental flaw, I may sound a little radical or rational, whatever you call it. Is it not the time to go back to Macaulay's design, how it came into existence, and how this particular system was adapted by this country, and then what system we were following prior to that? What were the merits of that system? And what are the merits in the present system, if there are any? Okay. So is it not the time to relook, especially by educationists like you, who have extensive exposure, of various systems, but there is fundamental flaw. In fact, the way we learn things, because when we walk into any government school, it is so explicit. They just dictate, you have to memorize, vomit on the paper in the examination hall, get done with that. Okay? This is what is there is basic flaw in the learning process itself. Neither teachers are interested to look closely at these kind of flaws, nor the educationists are involved in coming out with some corrective or at least remedial measures. Forget about rational and radical, that we'll talk later on. Is it not the time to go back? Why it came? In fact, it was not there, though we were all not there during that time. It is pretty clear that the Macaulay had his own design. It's not that he came down from UK all the way to this country to help us. Am I right? I'm not, I may sound radical, but I don't mean to be sounding rude. But the facts are too clear, because we have developed a typical mindset. We are extremely happy glorifying our own defects and our own lacunae and our own bad issues, rather than looking at the possible reasons for these flaws, so that we can correct these and go back to the better system what we had. I'm not saying that Gurukul means, I'm not saying that let us go into the forest and spend time with our gurus learning Upanishads and Vedas. It is too late. to think of that. That would have been the best and most ideal scenario, but unfortunately, it's too late. But at least, something, some hybrid. How do I sound? Does it sound really pragmatic even to think of? Please, your response.
See, why education system is bad? Because the salary paid to teachers are not very good, where the bright people will opt that as a full-time job.
I'm extremely sorry. I'm sorry. I'll have to cut you short here. I'm sorry. Please kindly bear with me, because I have taken up few projects in the nearby government school also. In fact, for months together, I used to work with the teachers. You may find it unbelievable. Let me tell you, I know personally, because I don't have to bluff anybody, nor I have to exaggerate anything here. The secondary grade school teacher, okay, in the government school I'm talking
No, Raja Reddy garu, you didn't allow me to finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
sorry
was,
because you
I
said,
mean, I am,
you said that there is a law.
No.
It's exactly the opposite I wanted to convey.
see, have patience.
Please.
I was director for a university college. I was director in UGC, so I know the pay scale. I also own a school in my own native, which is a aided school. That means I can appoint the teachers and government will pay salary.
Okay.
I am talking about 80% of education system in India is not government owned. Only 20% is government owned.
80% private.
80% is private.
You are talking about primary, secondary, or?
Primary, secondary, higher education, everything added together. And
Okay.
those people are not well educated, well selected teachers. And even in the social status, once upon a time teachers had a great value. I worked as different status. I will tell you, when I go to a group in Bangalore, when I go to a Malayali group where some social cultural program is there, they will all introduce me as scientist from Space Department. Immediately everybody's eyebrow will go up. Oh, scientist from Space Department. Great. Then they will tell he was deputy director in ISR. I mean the Prime Minister's office. Oh, everywhere hair also will go up. And he took retirement and become teacher now. Stupid fellow. See, if I tell I am a professor from a university, it doesn't value at all. Because
I was mentioning mindset.
Yeah,
That's what is the mindset.
yeah, that is a mindset. Why it has become a mindset? Because teachers did not improve over a period of time. Though they may get a good salary, a bus conductor started using electronic ticketing in the bus. When you go to a railway station, you will see station master giving you, instead of old punching in the system and writing that price there, he made it electronic system. But still you will see teachers with the same blackboard and same white chalk. They have not changed.
Smart classes. Sir.
Yeah, see, it's all, I will tell you, I mean, Rajaji, I'll tell you, I have seen probably maximum number of teachers who no people in this country would have seen. I have directly given education to who sat in front of me as teachers, probably 5 lakh teachers. I was part of academic staff college. I was part of education system where Walk with a Scholar in Kerala. Every college, every schools I went and then spoke to millions of teachers. These classrooms, I will tell you, the PowerPoint presentation happens to be a replication of what they do in a textbook. Multimedia training was given. I was part of multimedia programs under, I don't know whether you even heard that. Consortium for Educational Communication under University Grants Commission is supposed to make Indian education with the multimedia. But multimedia is not PowerPoint. But unfortunately, most of the teachers were not acceptable to that. Today, with the force, most of the teachers came to digital media because there are nothing happening. But if you look at 60% of the teachers are not even connected to internet today in the country. Digital system has become so bad. I have got a servant maid who is in Hyderabad, center of city, in the cantonment area. In 9th, 10th class, last 2 years, not even a single digital class was happening. These are only eyewash. One class runs, it is fantastic, great. They will announce the whole school is digital media. These are all contracted out to show that something is happening, but really the benefit that goes to the students, if you count it, is not much. So I can find a lot of
Do you have
problems.
a solution for this?
Yeah, that is where I said
I'm sorry.
government
Do you have
system.
a solution for
Yes,
this?
that is why I said new education policy has got a great solution. System cannot implement because it is all going to the same hands. That is where like Rama, Raghavendra, who are all saying that we can have a youth. I want youth to get involved into, at least if teachers are not ready, let us have a education system. That's how NGOs, social system in which we start implementing it across the country. I was part of meeting all those school teachers in the worst place like a northeast. Worst in the place, not with anything else, but the infrastructure is worst. Electricity itself is not there. Internet is not there. I used to go every year and spend some time to understand the education system, what is lacking there. I am 100% sure there are a lot of places in the country where we have not reached out, where there are scope for social service people who can implement. And a great dream of constructing such a place where we have, see, in this country, we have Padma Bhushan, lot of Padma Sri. Padma is given to thousands of people who are live here, who are supposed to be the great contributors in this country. With those degree and with those Pattamahashi, what are they doing? With those crown on their head, what are they contributing to the society? Can't we make them to stay in a corner in a university and then tell them all your experience share to the next generation free of cost? Now you got all the best awards in your life. Now don't expect anything other than your food and peaceful rest life. But your experience, please share it to the next generation. Yeah. Do we have such a setup? We don't have. University is a place we have to put all the experts from different field in a place. But what we have done in the education, we have again compartmentalized. Earlier education was not compartmentalizing. It was generalizing. These are all different problems which maybe I have discussed sufficient enough. That is why I am not looking at what government can do, what system can do, what Macaulay has done, what Rama has done, what Kridayuga, all that is not what we can do today now. Can I do that to some small set of people around me? I am unfortunately, last time also when we had a meeting, I said, I don't have the whereabouts, I don't have the public where I did this lot of such things. There are few people who are working in that direction at the bits and pieces at different places. Let us expand it little further. That is how I could take some experience from what I have done in some portions at different places. We are only trying to expand it further. I am 100% sure, Rajaji, with your support, you are in the trust of Sai. We have to relook at it, what can be done for teachers. It is not a training teachers. We can have a few selected people who will 1, 2, 3, 4 teachers in a school is good enough. They can make a difference to some people, some students, that is good enough.
I think it has very much to do with the mindset.
Yeah,
We already
that is what we wanted to change by changing few people and give them full support.
So what do you, if I may ask, what approach do you suggest? Because you cannot change the mindset, at least you can enable people to change their own mindsets. What is the best way of dealing with it? Because, nowadays, anything imported, anything Western, they call it best. West is best. There is a kind of impressions people carry. But there are good number of flaws, even in their educational system. Even if you take, say, US for that matter, there are a good number of flaws. In fact, they are not applicable at all. In this country, if you import and try to implement here, they are ill-suited. Probably most of the problems, what we are seeing in the present society may be the outcome of such flawed policies. So, in that context, let us not even bother about whether we can implement or not, at least theoretically. fundamentally, right at the nursery level, what kind of changes would you suggest, Mr. Seshakumar, please?
That is what I said. New education policy clearly focuses on informal learning in a formal system. If we can create at least some 10-20 such centers where we implement it and show, I am 100% sure more number of teachers will become part there to see what is happening here, so that they will also take it to their own academic institutions. Maybe we can share such expertise practically, not theoretical, practically showing what we can do at least few centers. So select at least 10 teachers and 40 students. 10 teachers and 40 students. In some center where you have a hold, we will see what difference we can make in 1 year. Without any partition, age 3 to grade 3 single classroom. Age 3 to grade 3 single classroom. All the 10 teachers will share their experience. It will be like a family, extended family, old traditional family. Digitally we can have an interaction, digitally we can have, take their parents also part of it. I have got few people who attended many of my parent session here also. Bhargavi will ensure. Bhargavi, you can come and speak what we did. I was teaching lot of slokas. 100% sure not Bhargavi alone. Bhargavi, her husband, their children, Bhargavi's father. That means the child's grandfather was also attending parallelly.
Yes,
Correct?
even my mother was also attending.
That's what I'm saying. So it is not educating the child. We were educating the whole family. So they understand not just chanting the sloka. They understand the meaning, the philosophical, scientific, everything together. So they understand things. Can we create a set of people like this who will understand and learn together? It's like a family group. That is what we wanted to propose, at least such informal centers at different places, and then tell them this is what we can do. This is what we wanted to implement to some society. This is the right time, because most of the people have got lot of time. They pretend to be busy, but they have lot of time. We can always find an informal learning at midnight or midday, doesn't matter. Make some small clusters and then start meeting at least once in a week to share different experience. We can do that. We can change.
Can I share my experience?
Yeah. Bhargavi, yes.
Please go
Yeah,
ahead,
I
Amma.
think I was very fortunate because my kids are in the right age. So I came across your class and I've been following some of your advices that to teach them vocally rather than making them write. And I've been singing some songs. So my 3-year child started singing some songs with me. And I'm reading some storybooks. So they are completing the sentences in the storybooks. And I am doing some painting yesterday, and my 5-year kid, she did some painting. So I've been following your small advices, and they are also chanting slokas when I read something. They are also coming interested in that. Rather than making them write, they are into everything. They are learning everything. And one day you have told to let them know about some animals and all. So they have watched some documentaries, and my elder one, they have learned some about some animals. Now she's saying, I want to become a vet because I want to rescue some pandas and all such. Because they are open to many things. It's not just reading and writing. They are open to many things now. They know how to plant the seed, sow the seeds, how to get some fruit. They are doing the planting also. All this they are following. So it is just in 2-3 months they have developed a lot. I can see it.
Yeah, I know. Bhargavi, I think you were with your daughter, you were in the Bhagavad Gita class, right?
Yes.
Both
yes,
were
ma'am.
singing together. Yeah, I was seeing.
Both my kids were.
Yeah.
They had some slokas also there.
Yeah, the Bhagavad Gita and all they were learning when Dr.
Yes.
TPS was
Yes,
the slokas
Yes,
class. Yeah.
My husband, my mother, my father also attended the classes, and they were also learning some slokas. And
Yes,
along
they
with
were
my-
all there. Yeah, you were there.
Yes, my kids were also learning this.
Correct. Your daughter also was singing very well. Yeah.
Okay.
She also has a point to add.
She's saying Amma Tataya also have come for class.
Good.
And
Glad.
I don't know, she from 2 days she is singing her own songs also. My eldest one.
That's how they become creative.
It's a very big improvement I can see in 2-3
Good.
months.
Glad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhargavi.
Thank you.
I must thank Rudradev.
Innana? You like to paint? Yeah, okay. He said-
Good.
Any more queries? Any more interactions? Anybody else who want to talk? I think Rama, Mr. Rama, else, they can also interact.
Yes, ma'am. I think very relevant points, sir. I think this brings out to the fore what all we need to do. So one of the things of getting the rural youths or the youths involved was basically, in the cities, all these professionals, they have a strong desire to actually work for the nation, to contribute something, but they're not actually finding out ways in which to do it. So what we're trying to propose is get all the professionals actually involved and serve as a mentee, mentor for the rural youth. So that is what even Prithvi and Sudarshan, so these guys are also trying to do, where we would have this group of people who actually want to work for the nation. There's so many of them in these cities who would want to contribute, and we're trying to actually create a channel for them to actually work with the youth and become their mentors. And in the process, they're also wanting them to actually contribute back to the society in terms of working with the schools. So one thing which we were trying to do is create these project-based learning methodologies, where the school students could actually start working on projects of their interest. So it could be music, it could be some sports activities, it could be science projects. Like we were working with a solar panel in one of the villages, actually in our farm, and then all the students or kids of the village wanted to actually find out how a solar panel actually works. So they were very inquisitive, and this was the time where when you do actually such projects, it will give them a very good learning, be it a first class student or a 12th class student. So such kind of project-based learning approach, I think will go a long way, and we wanted to use these youths where they would actually also be involved in doing these projects and also learning in that process. So that is something which we wanted to do, and we want to seek your help also, because the government also actually has all these programs for the rural youth and for the kids. So if you could actually have access to all this material, I know you were talking about the mobile vans and such kind of stuff. So we would be actually very interested in having the youths we interact with start using that material and actually making a difference. So these are some of the high-level stuff. We can actually go in much more detail as to how we want to actually do it. But then, as you said, we have to actually bridge the gap between the youth and the school students as well as the professionals, so that the quality of education, as well as the with a not for money kind of a mindset, because generally everyone actually wants to take up a job for earning, and as Radhaji also said, so they are trying to actually do a job just to eke out living. But if you can actually show them a way where they can actually do a job in the rural area, but have a very good high quality of lifestyle, where they really enjoy being in a rural setup and also work for the rural areas rather than going to the cities and working there. That would be actually a good option, so that the work is not only for money but for something much beyond that. So these are just a few of the points which I wanted to actually discuss, and we can go into details as and when we have our next meeting.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think Dr. TPS can answer and how we can
Yeah,
go.
good, Rama. Wonderful point which you reminded. I was telling, assume that I wanted to create a chemistry lab or physics lab or biology lab in one of those schools. Probably you can find sponsors, funding, and all that. But what will happen? That will be only supporting only few people around them. That school, probably few people. Assume you have got a permanent setup. Generally, students or teachers or the public around that, the youth, we are not supporting only one school. Maybe Navodaya Vidyalaya, the intention of creating Navodaya Vidyalaya was in that district, every schools can use that facility. But unfortunately, it is not happening because it is there. Why should I see it March? I can see in December also. So they keep on postponing and the academic year will go. But the advantage of having a mobile lab is, it is there for 1 week. I am 100% sure that 1 week you have got one expert who is coming and spending also will be possible. And people will find it interesting because it is not there next week, It's my life chance. After that, we don't know when it is going to come. So people will rush and see that. I remember in my childhood, we had in my village and neighboring town, we used to have a mobile library. Different bookstall used to come and we purchased a lot of books. Today we don't buy it because that the bookshop is there. If not today, tomorrow also I can buy. Those days we just grabbed it because it was mobile. Day after tomorrow it may not be there. So we were actually, that is one advantage where the interest will grow if it is not permanently available. Anything temporary, people have got lot of interest. One. Second one, I don't believe in being supporting the nation, being building a nation. I can at least change one Bhargavi with a lot of class in last 3 months is a great thing which I can do. Because I believe nation is not something which is beyond people around. No. Ramakrishna made one Vivekananda is good enough. Vivekananda got one Ramakrishna, that was good enough. Later, whether that person will change the nation or not depends on whether you are in the right place with the right group of people around. So I believe always one individual becomes a citizen. One country becomes a nation. Many individuals becomes a nationalist. That country status will become a nation status. So my intention is to change one individual to a citizen of the country, and he will change the country into a great nation. That is what we should look at. Small change.
Right, sir.
Small change in one place. One person is good enough. At least if I can do that to one person, they can do it to 10 people. 10 people can do it or not, it's up to them. Right? That is why I said we want lot of torch bearers. We want torch bearers who will take this. That is what I am trying to look at it. Good enough. I am so glad that Lalita connected me to Rama, Raghavendra, and rest of the people, Prithvi. All those people spoke, and I am 100% sure Rajaji has got a set of institutions, set of people, set of teachers around them. If that is why I remember when somebody said why great Swamijis are always behind rich people. Then they said, poor man I can change only one poor man. But a rich man, when I change, he can change a whole society under him because he has got control over them, right? that is the advantage.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I think Dr. TP's other point, what I understood was, from all these interactions, whatever has been going on, I feel that if Rama, Raghavendra, and even Rajaji Karka also, he made very valid points. The interactions went on very well. Like he raised very good questions, in fact. So if we all can have a series of meetings, with whatever you have explained today, I think each one has got their own thoughts. Even Mr. Prithvi also, he to raise certain very good, valid points, how to take it forward. In fact, they are working on it. That's what he said. And I think Mr. Rama also is doing that. Raghavendra is doing that. Each one, they are into this mold of activity. They want to really do this also. So I think if we can have another meeting, in the coming week or coming whenever it's convenient for you all, I think we can have another series of such meetings where things will fall in line. It will become practical. Means 1 or 2 more meetings where we can all meet at the ground level, like where something will really happen at the field level. That's what I feel. I think hope everybody agrees to it. One more meet with Dr. TPS.
There are a lot of people who joined. I think there has to be some discussion or reaction from at least some of them. I think only one new face which I met is Prithvi today and maybe Rajaji.
Mr.
Yeah.
Seshakumar, I have a suggestion to make.
Yeah.
Can kindly consider it. See, just now, ma'am was mentioning that we'll have series of more meetings, probably I think more focused and more specific. I have a suggestion to make. Like, if you have some select group, I'm not trying to say that others are not able to cope with the discussion. What I mean to say is to have specific focus on a particular sphere of education, like for example on the syllabus or maybe primary education syllabus. If we can specifically address some of the points which we will be confabulating among us, probably I think it will be more productive, both to enlighten our limited knowledge as well as to contribute for any positive outcome. I don't know how you respond to this. Probably the next meet will be on, say, specifically on syllabus, like primary education. Let us consider what are the flaws. Are they really flaws? Among all of us, we'll have some agreement and then come to certain conclusions. How do you feel about it?
Rajaji, I don't know whether you know the background of this meeting. I have been doing a lot of academic activities. Also, parallelly, my own interest, we have a group of people like just now Bhargavi is there. There are a few more people also there. They are not coming on to video, so I am not calling them by name. They were attending classes. We have done some not theoretical, practical learning style in which we started implementing what is going on in my mind which can be implemented. Today's meeting was an initiative from Lalitha, meeting up with Rama, Raghavendra, Prithvi and all that, who had a similar mindset in which they thought that something can be practically done. So we plan to meet today where there are few volunteers of this group of people who planning to do something, and the idea is already there with I am 100% sure with Lalitha, Raghavendra, Prithvi, Rama et al. So they are planning to implement. Theoretical discussions on what is flop in primary education or KG. I have done few seminars. It's all available on YouTube. This also will be on YouTube available. On higher education, autonomous education, all the different levels, university setup, teachers community. I think after NEP last 1 year, I must have done more than 20 such workshops, discussions and concerns. Delhi-based group of principals, outside country, Gulf, all the different country, CBSE school teachers at different centers, principals at different centers, even KG, LKG, UKG, primary centers. There are a lot of things done on this. So I don't think this forum is not for that. Probably if you have such interest, you can create a group and then ask me, I will be available. Otherwise, I think Lalitha had a very specific focus for this meeting. That is what we thought we will take it up. That is what I think. I am available. It all depends on the
yes,
group.
it's,
Yes. Yeah.
yes, Dr. TPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can all have, sir, Dr. Rajaji sir, whatever you have said is also very, very valid, and we can really initiate something. It is not specifically on syllabus. We can have something more, as sir was telling, for the teachers and at the parent level, at the grandma child care, grandma Gurukul centers, Siksha centers. That is such a wonderful concept. In fact, for that itself, we can have a special meeting in the coming week or coming fortnight, because the concept is already ready, the model is already ready. It's how we can really bring it onto the field. That is the point where we all can really have another meeting. That's what I feel. And as Rajaji Karo was saying, we can also be more focused. Today it was a general meeting, where Dr. TPS was explaining all the things, but he has specific concepts on hand.
I am 100% sure. We all of us have this concern about it is not good, we need improvement. But we will take up only what can be done now. That could be more appropriate. That's what I believe. A small change, that's good enough probably.
Sir, I had one question. So regarding the government schools, is there a possibility for the private partners or maybe NGOs to have a closer relationship with government schools, in the sense that they also have control as opposed to just being outsiders, where it could be an NGO which also runs a government school kind of a thing?
See, in none of these state government schools, first thing, very difficult to break the ego of the teachers and principals, because we know how to run and I will tell you what is to be done. This is not correct. They will not accept. But what we can do is supplement with the personality development, communication skill, maybe like a digital lab, which I said, the chemistry lab, physics lab, show them there for some time. Like a supplementary programs can be taken up. Otherwise, I don't think the AEO, DEO, none of them. Why? If there is some, I will tell you, there is some trust which is running a school, even a private school. If some XYZ comes and tells that I will tell you what is to be done, I never tell this to any school running authority, because I know they know how to run it. We believe this is where we can supplement something, contribute something, that we will still do it. See, I remember when we wanted to do in Bongkir, what we did was, first we conducted a eye checkup camp, then we did some other camp, blood donation camp, we did some supporting of free distribution of specs and all that. So many parents came. So we had the rapport with the parents. So we contributed with the parents, we made a PTA very active. Then through PTA we started implementing some of the activity which we wanted to activate. Otherwise, if you go and tell the principal, understood, that to become very, unless we have a direct influence through the AEO, DEO and all that. That means you have to break their ego. That is much difficult than breaking the ego of, see, best thing is participation of parents. Then, that is why I keep saying, teachers, very difficult sometimes. Students, probably easier. We can conduct some quiz competition and such things. That's why we get the students into hand. Then contribute something to the parents. The last would be teachers. That's why I keep saying TPS in the reverse order. Students, parents, teachers.
Right. Okay, sir. And then using the schools for these project-based learning activities, that should be possible, right?
We can pick up, I told you, we can pick up small experiments which they can implement in their classrooms. They can tell that to their students. Assume that we want to show how science can be made interesting, how geography can be made interesting, how history can be learned. That is where we tap the students. Suppose we can show one example of one chapter for one subject. I am 100% sure we can tell that you identify another chapter from another class, another subject, and then you present it. I am 100% sure children will come up very fast. Some of the students, unimaginable. I'll tell you my experience. For last 1 year, when I had a lot of talk like this discussions, somebody telephoned and spoke to me and then I found that that she is not able to speak even one single word in English. And then I asked, what is your husband doing? Where are you working? They have 2 children. I found their YouTube beautiful video they created out of nothing.
Right.
They have this ability. That's why I've got lot of hope and lot of belief in the capability of youth. If you can give them some small projects, they will make it much better than I will not be able to do that better, I will tell you.
Right.
But these students will know that and then they can do it. We need to supplement little bit of extra knowledge to them, little bit of direction. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah, sure.
With regard to the, excuse me, with regard to grandma Gurukul system, do you have a specific document or any particular model design?
That is why I said it is highly flexible. Therefore, we don't make a first framework and then say what Bhargavi and family learned is one grandma child care. I was like a grandmother to my own colleague whose daughter is Bhargavi. Bhargavi's father Rudradev happened to be my colleague. We casually were discussing and that's how the whole family became part of it. So I was like a grandfather or a grandmother who was teaching whatever small slokas and meanings and then tell them how to engage children. Don't ask your children to study, but you study so that the children also will study. Don't ask your children to read newspaper. You read newspaper, that they will also start reading newspaper. You start cooking and tell your baby to read newspaper for you because you are washing the bartan and your hand is wet, so I cannot hold paper. Please hold and read the heading. That's good enough. That's how you will start changing them. That model is not what I will do when the school is running. So it's a highly flexible. And what I do with Bhargavi may not be because grandparents are there, children are there, she is there. Maybe that is not what I did with somebody else. So each it's like flexible. But tomorrow if you want a model, yes, we can show this is one model which worked, this is another model which worked, this is another model. What can be done to the other girl who I was mentioning who spoke to me? Her husband is a street vendor. They send vegetable. Do you think I can teach him slokas? I cannot. But immediately the children came back to me to learn slokas. So there, the Bhargavi's model is not what I did in the street vendor's model. Their children learned. When the father is back, the children were teaching them, this is what we learned. So this is highly flexible. That is what I believe. That's why I am saying I am not looking at a structure which can be duplicated in 100 places. We create 100 different structures which are acceptable to them. I remember when I went to Northeast, I went to Amliya. I went there to motivate children for science projects. But I found none of the children are ready to sit in classroom. They are basically like roaming around sports. That is what they love. So immediately I found their psychology. I said, see, I have not seen Amliya small villages. I want to come and have a walk with you. Whole 40 children and me were walking the whole day. What we learned is real science. Each activity where I am seeing was made into science to them. Because across the Ghandaki river, like big bridges, they have got big hanging bridges by military. They all run in that and then swing like this. So simple pendulum was taught. I told them you are never going to fall. You can swing as much as you want, right? So this is, and that theorem is what you are learning in your classroom. They were 9th class children. We had a lot of activity in which we do. That is what we teach. Yesterday I was talking about yoga. I just said Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. But I am not telling that sloka alone. I all told them that no, you hold your nose like this. Bhargavi, hold your nose like this. Let me see how many of you can hold. Raghavendra, I am only seeing 2 people on video, I am saying. Hold your nose like this. Yeah, now hold the finger like this. Now, you are not able to do because you are holding it not the way I wanted you to hold, right? So, if you hold like this, then you will not be able to stretch out. Got it? So, this becomes a ready. There is no point in learning Shraddhavan Labhadet Nanam. I have to check whether you have Shraddha or not. Can we do it digitally? Yes, we can do it digitally. So, my classes are never class like theory. I like demonstrating practical, involving with children, playing with children, dashing with children, fighting with children, taking them and rolling around. That's part of my life. I enjoy. So it all depends on you create. That's why Bhargavi also doesn't know who are all the other people who are attending class with me. Because I told Bhargavi, you create a small group with your 3 people or 4 people. Good enough. Another people wanted to learn. I said, you create a small group and come back to me. So you create your own groups and then come back to me. That's what I keep telling them. Lalita also I told you create a group.
Dr. TPS, if I remember well, in your the Yoga classes and all, they were husband, wife with children and all, they were sitting, na?
Yeah.
People from Kerala, I saw one husband, wife was sitting. And
yeah, many different part of the globe.
Mother with the children, I saw some mother also with the children.
Yeah. We had from Kerala, Kuwait, we had from Saudi Arabia.
Delhi also they were.
We had from Delhi, we had from Bhopal, we had from Assam. We had different stretch of people all across the globe was there.
Yeah, entire families were sitting and
that is how it is run. Always it is run
anyway, like Anyway, I think we have taken much of your valuable time. I thank each and every participant and Dr. TPS, who has really allotted so much of his precious 2 hours of his time to deliver such a wonderful lecture where we all could also learn many things. I really thank him for sparing his time, valuable time with us.
The
And also I
recording
thank
has
all the participants, like Dr. Rajaji Garu and Mr. Rama, Mr. Raghavendra, Mr. Prithvi, and there was Ms. Bhargavi also for sharing such how our Raider families enjoy it. So it's all very, very, very useful to each one of us.
Rajaji, you could
Mr. Raghavendra to
Rajaji, you could take my number or maybe just send a WhatsApp. We could be in discussion. Probably whoever wants. You can take my number 90.
We will
share it and then so that
Dr. TPS.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We will share.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So now we will conclude the session with prayer.
Mr. Raghavendra?
Yeah.
Yeah. Vote of thanks and with the vote of thanks and the prayer.
Yeah. So thank you all for participating in this wonderful session with Honorable Sir, Honorable Guruji, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar Sir. So I thank one and all. So it was a wonderful session we have ever had, and we will continue this journey without any hurdles. And I hope all success should come to our this desire to serve the nation, serve the people, and serve the needy. So now I would like to conclude this session with a prayer. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve sujana sukhino bhavantu. Sarve jana sanmangalani bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.